It's 54 days to the presidential and parliamentary election. Hello and welcome to Join News Prime with me, Carlos Coloni. We're live on DSTV channel 421, GoTV channel 125, all social media handles and around the world on myjoyonline.com. In our bulletin this hour, Ghana CocoBod alarmed over the spate of smuggling as the country lost over 120 metric tons of cocoa to the menace, despite 531% increase in producer price for cocoa.
Smuggling is taking almost about 100 to 120,000 metric tons of cocoa out of Ghana, especially in the last 2 years.
We'll bring you details as Ghana lost close to $2 billion between 2022 and this year. Also, Ghana Police Service commences investigations into gruesome accident that occurred at East Legon over the weekend, caused by the speeding of a minor that led to the tarring of 2 individuals in the process.
They had to work to retrieve the 2 people that were badly bent. We realized that they were bent beyond recognition. You could see their skull, their skin melting onto their seats. It was a very horrific scene. Unfortunately, my heart goes out to the family.
We have details as one of the injured person has since been discharged, plus the update from the Accra-Kumasi accident involving a VIP bus that claimed 12 lives in just one weekend. Now, the Ghana CocoBod says it's alarmed over the impact of smuggling on cocoa production in the country after it lost 120,000 metric tons of cocoa to the menace in the last 2 years. Despite the producer price of cocoa witnessing a 531% increase in the last 7 years, there has been a surge in cocoa smuggling to neighboring countries. Taking his stand at the Meet the Press series in Accra, Chief Executive Officer of CocoBod, Joseph Boahinedu, attributed the trend to the trading dynamics on the international market.
First, smuggling of cocoa. It is something that is adversely affecting our production as a nation. In fact, if we go by existing statistics, smuggling is taking almost about 100 to 120,000 metric tons of cocoa out of Ghana, especially in the last 2 years. Now, for last year and this year in particular, this had been so. I think now I'm coming to your question. This had been so because the international market trading system is inverted. When you say it's inverted, it means that today the spot price had become more appreciable or better than the forward, or what we call the futures. And for us, Ghana, before the price shot up, before the spike actually started last year somewhere around April. That's April 2023. Before then, the price of cocoa at the terminal market, at the web market, was around $2,000, $2,200 per ton. And then suddenly, there was this spike. From that figure, it crossed 3,000, went above 6,000, and by February this year, price of cocoa had gone above $12,000 per ton. The simple question you ask me is that, if that's the case, then why were you not selling Ghana's cocoa at $12,000? It's not as simple as that.
Now, joining us in studio is lead data analyst Isaac Kofi with more on this particular story. Kofi, let's start with the total beans smuggled out of the country between 2022 and now.
Well, what we know is that CocoBod has not been consistent with the total number of cocoa beans smuggled out of the country. There's a reason why we say so. First, let's start with the 2022-2023 figures that they put out. If you look at the CocoBod December 2023 newsletter that they put out, they said that 216 metric tons of cocoa beans were smuggled out of the country in this period under review. Now, the CEO today says that it was between 100,000 to 120,000. The difference between what we see up here and what the CEO said today is very, very huge. Now, let's look at the 2023-2024 season, the just ended season. Now, according to the Director of Special Services, he says when he spoke to Reuters just last month that we lost 160,000 metric tons of cocoa beans in the 2023-2024 season. The CEO says we lost between 100,000 to 120,000. Huge difference,
which is equally low.
Absolutely. Now, let's do the math in terms of the loss so far. So, based on what was put in CocoBod's newsletter for December 2023, we understand that the country lost $754 million. That is very huge. It is important because cocoa is the only foreign exchange earner. If you compare to gold or oil, that Ghana almost gets 100% of whatever that we export.
Exactly.
Gold, we only get about between 13 to 15%. Same for oil. So cocoa is a strategic crop that we cannot allow such losses to go away. Now, if you look at the 2024-25 season, if we do the math based on the statistics that has been given by the CocoBod CEO and the lead for the anti-smuggling campaign, then we are talking about 960 million. That's between that figure and then 1.3 million. So in total, per our estimation, Ghana may have lost close to between 1.7 billion to $2 billion
within that period.
With just 2 seasons, 2023 and then the 2022 and the 2023 season. So based on the maths that we've done, we can say that based on the projections, we've lost between 1.7 billion to $2 billion.
Okay.
That is even higher.
All right.
Way higher than how much we've been able to get from the IMF so far.
Okay, so we do understand that most of this smuggling is happening around the country's neighbors, Togo, Benin, and all that. Why that?
I mean, if you compare our currency situation to the CFA franc, based on the analysis that we've done so far, it looks as if the CFA franc, in terms of stability exchange, it is better than the the cedi in terms of gaining strength. Now, another component has to do with the fact that cocoa is really regulated in Ghana. It's only CocoBod that is mandated to do the purchasing. Now, if you go to other regions like Togo and other countries, it's not as rigid as we have the laws here in Ghana. So it makes it so it makes it so easy for people to do the smuggling in those countries. So if you ask me, is the economic situation here in Ghana plus the regulation system in some of our neighboring countries?
Okay, all right. Thank you so much, Kofi, for those details. Let's talk to Director Special Services at CocoBod, Charles Ame Nyaglo. Thank you so much for your time here. Would CocoBod consider reviewing the producer price index to dissuade farmers from smuggling their cocoa?
Good evening to your listeners, and good evening to management of Ghana CocoBod. I believe management is studying the situation and is in appropriate time review where necessary, so that we can all fight this smuggling menace.
So you don't think that at this point in time, with these huge losses, it's not the best time to consider that?
No, there are committees that work on some of these things, not the Special Services Department. So cocoa prices are fixed by a committee, that's the Producer Price Review Committee. And they will look at the circumstances of each case and where appropriate, they make intervention and to stem the need.
So how worried is CocoBod regarding this particular smuggling situation?
You mentioned that we have lost close to about 1.7 billion, depending on the exchange, which is a huge loss to the country. Fortunately, the anti-cocoa smuggling task force is doing very well. We are doing very well. We've just started the season in September. We are in October, halfway in October. And so far, we have done about 212 tons of cocoa seizure, which means that management is supporting us with logistics and funding to be able to permeate all the fabrics of the cocoa growing area and even beyond. Because as you are aware, we have been doing interception in Tamale, where we don't grow cocoa, Boku, Tatali, Zuarungu, even within the cocoa growing areas, Asumura, Sefi, Volta, we have the Sogakope and Japon areas. And so we are doing everything possible to keep the cocoa within the country. And so I would say that even internal purchasing has also increased by our activities.
All right. Thank you so much, Charles Amenyaglo, for speaking to us. Now we can go on to the phone lines and speak to the president of the Concerned Cocoa Farmers Association, Nana Obwadie Boaten Bonsu. Grateful for your time. So what is the appetite behind this smuggling situation we are seeing in the country?
Point of correction is Farmer General Nana Obwadie Boaten Bonsu, and then President of the Concerned Farmers Association of Ghana.
Thank you. Thank you for that correction.
Yeah. What is happening, the appetite that you just mentioned is about the currency that the other places, the currency is higher than us here. And then it is not the cocoa farmers that are smuggling the cocoa. We have cartels that they are doing that. And then I think I heard the earlier speaker on Joy FM that they have the national security team together with them doing it. I think that they have to go down, and down, because we started our program earlier on with the identification of community challenges, trying to know the challenges that the farmers are passing through. Why are they smuggling the cocoa? And we realize that it is not the farmer that is smuggling the cocoa, but at the end of the day, it is those buying from the farmers. They are the people smuggling the cocoa just to make multiple money. Though some farmers are not happy with the price that came out. But all the same, we all have to know that at the end of the day, there are a lot of things that CocoBod is being put in place for cocoa farmers. And at the end of the day, too, the benefit that the cocoa farmers are getting from Ghana is not as same as those in Cote d'Ivoire, or let's say Nigeria.
Okay.
Fine, we all know the price is a little bit in a way for commodity. But all the same, we are also educating the farmers in a way so that they will not be taking, or they will not be selling their cocoa to people that maybe they think they will be smuggling the cocoa out of the country. We have been doing it for so long, and then it is not easy. The task is not easy. As I'm speaking to you, we spend almost 300,000 Ghana just for the education and other things, and then it is our own pocket, not from any institution. Now that CocoBod are in for support, CocoBod, they are trying their best in a way just to make sure that our cocoa will make the country. The same, I think the cartels that they are arrested and have to be prosecuted and have to be put on cameras for we to know that these are the people that they call them. These are the people that they are into.
As concerned farmers, have you been able to identify some of these cartels? Because you are all trying your best to solve this national problem. So if you have identified some of these cartels, have you been able to identify some?
Well, we've not been able to identify that this one or something that we, and it is not easy to do that. Before you do that, you also have to get into the business of also you being purchasing or maybe buying some of the cocoa so that you get to know what has been happening. And that is exactly that we've started now that we are trying to do. So we are in the process. So by the close of this very month, I think we'll be getting the cartels done. We'll get them arrested.
Thank you so much, Nana Obwadie, for speaking to us here. Now, moving on, after 48 hours, the Ghana Police Service has provided updates on the gory accident that happened at East Legon here in Accra that have got many of you talking. The police says it has commenced investigations into the gruesome accident over the weekend, which was allegedly caused by the speeding of a vehicle by a minor that led to the death of 2 individuals in the process. The Ghana National Fire Service, who were at the scene of the incident to douse the fire, provided some update, plus their preliminary findings, which we shall come to shortly. But first, here is the statement by the Ghana Police Service. There you have it on your screen, and it reads, the Ghana Police Service has commenced investigation into an accident that occurred on Saturday, 12th October 2024 at East Legon in Accra, leading to the death of 2 persons. It goes on to say preliminary investigation or police investigation indicates that the suspect driver, identified as Salifu Amwaku, rammed his vehicle into another vehicle on Jani Ashi Street at East Legon. Both vehicles caught fire and bent beyond recognition. And the suspect driver and other surviving victims are currently receiving medical attention. Meanwhile, one of the surviving victims has since been treated and discharged, while the bodies of the deceased victims have been deposited at the morgue for preservation and autopsy. So that's the statement from the Ghana Police Service. Meanwhile, Assistant Divisional Officer of the Fire Service, ADO1, Alex Nate, narrates the details of the incident to my colleague Elton Broby on the Pulse on the Joy News channel.
When we arrived at the scene, we realized that the accident involved 2 vehicles, an Acura vehicle and then a Range Rover. No, sorry, a Jaguar vehicle. So at the time we got there, the survivors had already been taken out and rushed to the nearest hospital. So we had to do cooling to make sure that there's no further damage. And so we quickly had to work to retrieve the 2 people that were badly bent. We realized that they were bent beyond recognition. You could see their skull, their skin melting onto their seats. It was a very horrific scene. Unfortunately, my heart goes out to the family.
How caused the fire?
Okay, so we are still investigating. We are still investigating, but per our initial assessment, anything could have caused the fire. Even the collision could have even sparked a fire. But what we are looking at initially is that it hits a wooden electric pole. So it's possible that after it hit the wooden electric pole, the wire or the wire fell on the vehicle. And we know that electricity and metal is not the best of friends. So after it touched the vehicle, it could have started the fire. Due to the collision too, there will be a lot of fuel. There will be a lot of fuel and a lot of oil all around the place, making it easy for a fire to start. So, per our initial assessment, we have a feeling that that might have been what caused the fire.
My colleague Kenneth Jesse just returned from the site of the incident where he interacted with some residents and eyewitnesses.
I was doing my normal cleaning. I was doing cleaning the glasses. So all of a sudden, I was at the top, and the white car, which is the Jaguar, they went for a part. And as boys, I don't know whether they were boosted. So the Jaguar car, which caused the accident, was on high speed. And I learned they were arguing the car. The other guy was telling the guy to, slow down small. As he realized, he was almost inside the T-junction. And you can even see the brake tie there. So he tried to, step down the brake, but he failed. And he hit the black car. I don't know whether it's a Toyota car or not. So he hit the Toyota car, and the light pole, which is there, got broken, and the lights start, it sparked. And where the engine was to, the fuel combustion and this thing started, to catch fire. So we tried to rescue them. I used the fire extinguisher and stuff, but we couldn't make it. So we rescued a small girl, and the driver, the black driver and the white, 2. 3 boys got out from the car, and the black one, which is the driver.
It's horrible. We all thought maybe it's a glass that has broken. We realized that the time we came out, we thought that it was an accident. And terrible. The thing happened all of a sudden they catch fire. So we were trying to help, but it takes only a brave person to go in to help. You understand? So I don't know. I can't tell.
Did anyone come out?
No, the place was so crowded, so you can't identify whether the person from that house or from people. All the car stops trying to help. You understand? So it's a problem. You can't say this one from this house or from the other place. I mean, it's morning to the evening until everything settled. Yeah.
Yes, you mentioned that the fire service arrived here, but did you see the presence of the police here?
Yeah, they also came. Okay. Yeah, they also came. They also contributed to the incidents. Yeah.
Away from that story, Arocha Ghana, an environmental advocacy group, is calling for Ghana's removal as co-chair of the Forest and Climate Leaders Partnership. In a statement, the group claims President Akufo-Addo, Ghana's representative, is failing to uphold the organization's mission to protect forests and address climate issues in his home country. They specifically accuse him of endorsing LI 2462, a law permitting mining in forest reserves, which they argue is accelerating deforestation. Meanwhile, the Environmental Protection Agency, EPA, is disputing the Council for Scientific and Industrial Research's claim that it will take 300 years to restore lands destroyed by illegal mining. EPA's Executive Director, John Kingsley Kurugu, insists that government-led reclamation efforts will achieve results much sooner. We'll hear from him shortly, but first, listen to CSIR's Dr. Albert Kobina-Mensah on restoring soil next on the news file.
We wanted to see how many years it would take for the soil to sort of restore to its natural state. And we were trying to use some plants, which the process is called phytoremediation, to see how it is going to remediate the chemicals from the soil. And the calculation shows if you want to get to the pristine condition, the calculation shows somewhere more than 300 years. More than 300 years.
But the EPA is disputing the timeline for the restoration of the soil cover. Executive Director John Kingsley Kurugu insists reclamation process currently underway by government agencies will speed up the time.
The entire program at the moment has a funding of $103.6 million US. And it is not only just restoration, like reclamation, that is the money being pumped into. But you know that government also took a decision that one of the best ways to deal with Galamsey is to try and formalize the sector. Part of the money is also being invested into the formalization process at the Minerals Commission, but also at the Ghana Geological Survey Authority to make sure that, you know, proper geological investigations are done, but there is a direct investment in land reclamation. You media don't see the immediate results, but I can tell you so much work is ongoing. And if it can be sustained, especially in the next administration, then I am confident that we will not need 300 years to restore the ecosystem.
Still on Galamsey, the Deeper Christian Ministry has expressed concerns over the impact of Galamsey activities on water baptism, a crucial aspect of their religious practices. According to the church's leadership, the pollution caused by illegal mining operations in water bodies has made it difficult for them to conduct water baptism, a sacrament that is considered essential for the spiritual growth of their members. According to the church, polluted water bodies have forced them to halt the water baptism of their new convert. Nana Boachi Yadov has more in the following report.
The Deeper Christian Ministry has revealed that illegal mining, popularly known as Galamsey, has forced the church to halt water baptism of new converts. According to the church, pollution of the Ghanaian water bodies is making it difficult for most churches to access good water for baptism. The head pastor of Deeper Life Church, Kumasi South, Pastor Aya Oseiwusu, says urgent measures are needed to halt the menace of illegal mining. He was speaking at the media launch of the annual National Campus Community Congress of the church.
Make catch yourself. And yet the balance couldn't support no. And so then you call no. And yes, so I saw it be a buzz, a so be I can't.
The SDA Church has also spoken about the impact of galamsey in water bodies, hindering the church's access to baptism. The president recently announced measures to combat illegal mining activities. For Joy News, Nana Boachi Dankwa Yadom, Kumasi.
Now, at just 22, she was forced into prostitution to make a living. Mayfair had to quit hawking sachet water after a speeding vehicle knocked her, breaking her leg. She now finds herself on the street of Kwame Nkrumah Circle, accepting offers as low as 25 cedis every night. In Joy News' feature series, Street of Despair, Emmanuel Jivanu shares the stories of 3 young girls, sex workers, at the Kwame Nkrumah Circle here in Accra.
At just 22 years old, Mayfair's life took a turn she never imagined. With no one to lean on, the street became her home, and survival meant taking whatever work she could find, even if that meant selling her body.
Oh, I saw the Mr. Wait 2 years. 2 years. But some year there, we never handed 1.5 2 million.
Each night, she's met with demeaning offers disguised as opportunities. 25 Ghana cedis, 30 Ghana cedis, and at times, a mere 5 Ghana cedis, an amount that wouldn't cover a single meal for most. But for Mayfair, these are the rates she's forced to take.
And the booklet with flow class or no back. What cannot say do at the most by Bukla there's a man 25 mid-year.
Despite her situation, Mayfair holds on to a dream of a different life. One where survival doesn't mean offering her pride for cash.
My see and I was saying 3 years ago. Let me did that. Let me be a crabby, say, Piotr and Miss one. I read them because the poet ban on a hammer. Then I draw. Let me see quite.
For some, like 23-year-old Kukwa, the street of Accra was supposed to be a gateway to better opportunities. But that dream quickly shattered, leaving her in the same dangerous cycle as Mayfair.
Bye-bye. I am. And now we will remember. And I'm very bitter and tired. I don't know. So you for liar. In January,
Kukwa came to Accra with hope to create a better life for herself and her 2 children. However, the burden of supporting her family soon drove her into prostitution. Now, she finds herself on the same street as Mayfair, struggling to survive. For Mariam, who is just 19 years old, the streets offered her nowhere to hide. Coming from Kumasi, she thought she had found safety with a man who promised to care for her. But that quickly turned into yet another nightmare.
My bar say first, no, Blabby. Also, to sleep into members in the so me quite none and say, I did America crown on me, be a minimum. Or catch him so on it. I am a media planeta.
Now, Mariam is alone on the street, her child clinging to her for safety. But to provide for her baby, Mariam, like Mayfair and Kukwa, has also been forced into prostitution.
Me we crampo me that's here, but me more bien. Nye de bia na me kwa me blawa kwa discount 20. Aya mo kwa me di o match na me no mako.
3 young women, 3 lives shaped by the harsh realities of the street. Each one is forced into dangerous choices. Emmanuel Jivenu, Joy News.
This is still the Joy News Prime with me, Carlos Caloni. We'll take a short break. We'll return with more. Please stay. Election Headquarters is brought to you by Petrosol, Platinum Energy, Energizing Dreams, the Chartered Institute of Management Accountants, CIMA, and the American Institute of Certified Public Accountant, AICPA, together as the Association of International Certified Professional Accountants, German Ozone Medical Center, Dental Wellness and Beauty, Chopbox Technologies, a Convenience Service, and Youth Bridge Foundation, bridging the gap for positive youth development. NDC presidential candidate John Mahama has expressed a doubt that the perpetrators of the Mamobi clash will be punished. Speaking during an interaction with members of the Upper West Regional House of Chiefs, he urged chiefs, opinion leaders, and CSOs to be the moral voice of conscience and speak out against what he describes as growing impunity. 9 people were injured in a violent clash between supporters of the New Patriotic Party, the NPP, and the National Democratic Congress in Mamobi on Sunday during a health walk. According to the Ghana Police Service, so far, 1 person has been arrested in connection with the incident, and it is working around the clock to get all identified perpetrators arrested to face justice.
I saw what happened the other day in Mamobi, and I hear it was the result of health walks. The 2 opposing parties were holding health walks or something, and then there was a clash somewhere. But even if there was a clash, I mean, maybe it might not have led to the loss of lives. But people had weapons, and they fired shots and injured people. The reason why this continues is because there's impunity. Those who have those weapons know that nothing will happen to them. They will do it and get away with it, because they are operatives of the system. They are people who belong to the political establishment. I saw one clear picture of one of them holding his pistol. Just watch, nothing will happen to them. And as long as nothing happens to them, it will continue. And that's why often I say that the moral voice of society must be heard. And the moral voice of society resides in our chiefs, our religious leaders, our civil society organizations. It's not that these people are not known. The people are known. The society knows those who fired those shots and injured those people. But again, like Ayawaso West Wagon, even if a commission of inquiry is set and says these people should be dealt with, government won't deal with them. And as long as government doesn't deal with them, others will be emboldened to do the same thing.
Now, 3 majority MPs and 1 NDC MP are at risk of losing their seat with barely 2 months until the expiration of the 8th Parliament. Former Minority Leader Haruna Idrisu has signaled that his side will trigger the appropriate constitutional and standing order provision to declare seat of these 4 MPs vacant. With Parliament currently constituted as 138 majority MPs and 137 minority MPs, this will mean the NDC will become the majority should they succeed in this effort. We'll get into all the details, but first, listen to Haruna Idrisu speaking at the campaign launch of Tamale North MP Alhassa Suhuyini.
On Tuesday, the Parliament of Ghana will reconvene. And when it reconvenes, I am very certain that Parliament and Ghana will go through a major constitutional test. And that constitutional test is that the NDC minority must become the majority from Wednesday next week. And this must happen if there is constitutional and legal propriety in Ghana. Because any nuanced interpretation of Article 97 provides that if a member of Parliament on a political party ticket like MPP defects and fails to be independent, that MP ceases to be member of Parliament. And if an independent member of parliament, by virtue of the provision of Article 97, subclause G, an independent joins a political party, that independent loses constitutional recognition and does not belong to parliament. And even if an NDC candidate, MP, defects to become an independent, he ceases to be a member of parliament. Therefore, we will invoke the Speaker's proper and true interpretation of Article 97 by our standing orders, which must mean that 3 MPP MPs no qualify to be members of parliament.
Now, political scientist at the University of Ghana, Dr. Kwame Asasante, says if the minority goes through with its threat, then the NDC will become the majority. But he adds that title would be short-lived. Here's why.
If you look at this type of situation, obviously you are going to have, minority becoming majority within the short possible time. That means that if they are going to take any important decisions, and in terms of voting, they will carry the day, all things being equal. That is one aspect. Another aspect is that they will be able to also, since they are in opposition, and then they are going to be majority in parliament, sometimes they can thwart the effort of government in terms of legislations and the rest of them. So there is a little advantage there, but that advantage will be short-lived because we have less than, I think, 52 days to go for the next election and the rest of them. But the one main disadvantage associated with such a system is that it tends to disorganize parliament to some extent, because if there are last-minute policies government want to push through, and then the opposition, which in this circumstance is going to become the majority, they can also work against the interests of the government, and that will also militate against certain developmental programs that they want to throw in.
Now, Ashanti Regional Organizer of the New Patriotic Party is urging parliamentary candidates who lost in the party's primaries to rally their support in what he describes as an end-time campaign for the upcoming elections. Francis Adomako maintains the party, with the resources and support of these candidates, could achieve its 85% election vote target in the Ashanti region. He made these comments when MPP's prospective parliamentary candidate, Claudia Lumo, donated logistics to the Oforikrom constituency to ease mobilization and campaign activities. Here's a report by Clinton Ibua.
A number of party supporters in the Oforikrom constituency gathered to reaffirm their commitment to ensuring the New Patriotic Party annexes the ultimate prize in the December elections. Despite the Ashanti region being the party's stronghold, the NPP is convinced that a whopping 85% of votes in the region will ensure their victory. Ashanti Regional Organizer of the NPP, Francis Adomako, says reaching this goal rests with both delegates and the candidates who lost in their primaries.
I would ask that I will encourage all losing candidates that with this particular donation, all the others who contested should come on board in their own small way to see how best they can also help. I would also appeal to other constituencies, delegates or aspirants who contested in various parliamentary primaries to support those who won, because one particular person cannot win this particular battle.
He made these comments during the donation of a pickup, 2,500 branded T-shirts and party souvenirs by the prospective parliamentary candidate for the Oforikrom constituency, Claudia Lumo. The logistics are intended to make campaign activities in the constituency easy and influence the gains of the party. Claudia Lumo expressed confidence in the victory of Dr. Muhammadu Bawumia, stating that the logistics would help secure the outcome.
The most important thing for us now is the unity that we need in this constituency, the
unity that the party has demonstrated all around the country. You can see that after our primaries, you did not hear any problems anywhere in any constituency. All we want to do as MPP is to win an election. What we want to do is to increase our vote and to make Dr. Bawumia the president of this country. And that's what we are passionate about, and that's what we want to see, and that's what's going to happen, inshallah.
Now, the flag bearer of the opposition National Democratic Congress, John Mahama, has raised concerns over the disqualification of the PNC candidate from the presidential race, asserting that Bernard Mona is more deserving of a place on the ballot than some of the candidates who were cleared to contest. Addressing a political rally at Wa in the Upper West region, John Mahama accused the Electoral Commission of orchestrating Bernard Mona's disqualification.
There are 13 people who were qualified to be on the ballot paper. Unfortunately, our brothers in the PNC were wrongfully disqualified. I do not understand how come the PNC were not allowed to be on this ballot paper. The PNC is a more worthy party than several parties that I see here on the ballot paper. But that's the issue we have with the Electoral Commission. Sometimes they are discriminatory because there are some people on this ballot paper who Bernard Mona qualifies more to be here than those people. And I know it will provoke controversy, but I mean it.
Now, the flag bearer of the National Democratic Congress, John Dramani Mahama, has assured the people of the Upper West region that he will fix deplorable roads in the region. He cited the Bamboy-Boli-Wa Road, which he described as being in its worst state since the start of the Fourth Republic. Speaking at a community engagement in Wichil, he lamented the many projects started by his administration that have been abandoned by the Akufo-Addo Bawumia-led administration. He, however, promised to complete these projects if voted back into power. Rafiq Salam reports.
Hundreds of supporters of the National Democratic Congress (NDC) first gathered at the Wa Airport to welcome former President John Mahama into the Upper West region to begin a 3-day campaign tour. On behalf of the chiefs and people of the area, Secretary to the Wichita Paramount Chief, Sumani Kasim, tabled some concerns that was the flag bearer of the NDC.
This one needs another constituency to bring governance closer to the people. The assumption of the Wichita and Doromo senior high schools into the educational mainstream.
John Mahama, in his response to the concerns of the people, lamented about the many projects that were started under his administration but which has not been abandoned.
The Doromo-Wa Road was on contract. If NDC was still in government, that road would have been completed long ago. In the history of the Fourth Republic, I have never seen that road in such a deplorable state.
News, Rafiq Salam, Wichita.
Now, the ladies from South Pond are back and making waves after a 6-year break from the National Science and Math Quiz. Infantima girls returned this afternoon with a bang, defeating Zion College and West Africa Senior High School to march confidently into the 1/8 stage of the competition. In a showdown packed with brain power, Infantima led 4 out of the 5 rounds, securing a sweet victory to announce their comeback. My colleague Jacqueline and Soma Yebua has more.
Well, after the 6-year break, Infantima Girls Senior High School is back, and they have proceeded and qualified into the next stage of the competition, which is the 1A stage. And let me speak to some of the students here. You are very excited. How do you feel knowing that you've qualified?
We are very excited for winning this contest, and we are very proud of our girls for winning the preliminary stage. And we are sure that the 1A will be able to take the contest, will be able to win the contest.
Okay. So how are you also feeling about your win right now?
I feel very berserk. I feel very overwhelmed with joy because in the beginning when we're being interviewed, I told them that our girls are going to give up the best because this year we are really taking it this year.
How did you feel in the last round when you realized that West Africa Senior High School were taking over in that round?
In the last round, I was feeling scared because I was like, hey, we are getting to the end and then things are going down. Like with God on our side, anything is possible. So we kept on praying that God will make it happen.
Okay, well, we're still here. Let's enjoy the songs from these ladies, the Mauve ladies, the ladies from Sotfon, just to make their mark and tell us all that they are indeed back. We can see the excitement here is immense, and these ladies are expressing them through these Jama songs. And just as you've heard from all of them, expect more from them in the upcoming contest, especially in the 1A stage. Reporting for Joy News, I am Jacqueline Asuma Yabua.
Well, congratulations to them. And the 2024 National Science and Math Quiz is produced by Primetime Limited and sponsored by the Ghana Education Service in partnership with Goyle PLC and supported by Pepsodent, GeoPay and Prudential Life Insurance Ghana. The broadcast of the 2024 National Science and Math Quiz on Joy News is supported by NASCO, Vitamerc, Virtual Security Africa, Ace Medical Insurance, Build Financial Technologies, DBS Roofing, Syntex Tanks, Family Health Medical School, Chobox Technologies, and Action Secondary Technical, Multimedia Institute of Ghana, DPS Pipes, and Waka Now. That's all we have in this bulletin. You can log on to myjoyonline.com for more stories. My name is Carlos Kelodi.